Ask the prophets, man. What does it say in Hosea? I've hewn them by the words of my mouth. You gotta use your scriptures. It's Hosea 6 and 5. Stay in Proverbs.
This is Hosea 6 and 5. Therefore I have hewn them by the prophets, and have slain them by the words of my mouth, and thy judgments are gone forth as the light.
So you're being reproved by the prophets. Give me Proverbs. There's Proverbs. Let me get. You stay in That's right. This is Proverbs chapter 1, verse 24. We start from verse 23. Turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you. I will make known my words unto you. Because I have called and ye refused, I have stretched out my hand and no man regarded. But ye have said not all my counsel, I would none of my reproof. Alright? So that's the prophet speaking. Continue on.
Back in Proverbs, yeah? Yeah. Proverbs 6 and 13. And have not obeyed the voice of my teachers, nor inclined my ear unto them that instructed me.
Nor incline my ear to my teachers, man. So the Most High set up teachers in your streets that will instruct you in the ways of Yahweh and His Son Yahweh Shai. But you want to join affinity with the heathens, man. You know what I'm saying?
It says, I was almost in all evil in the midst of the congregation and assembly. Drink waters out of thine own cistern, and running waters out of thine own well. Let thy fountains be dispersed abroad, and rivers of waters in the streets. Let them be thine own, and not a stranger's with thee.
Read that again, verse 15.
Can't. Drink waters out of thine own cistern, and running waters out of thine own well.
Drink waters out of your own cistern. So our people have been drinking strange waters, boy. You know what I mean? Strange waters when you put color in your hair. Strange waters when you're uncircumcised. You're drinking strange waters when you refer to yourselves as a Jamaican, as black. You know what I mean? You're drinking strange waters by following the gods and idols of the other nations. Caesar Borgia, following on Allah. Get into witchcraft. Go ahead.
It says, drink waters out of thine own cistern, and running waters out of thine own well. Let thy fountains be dispersed abroad, and the rivers of waters in the streets.
Rivers of waters in the streets. So these are the waters that's in the streets. He's bringing out His word. He said, I will pour out my spirit unto you.
It says, Maccabees 1 and 14. Whereupon they built a place of exercise in Jerusalem, according to the customs of the heathen, and made themselves uncircumcised. Forsook the holy covenant, and joined themselves to the heathen and the salt in the mischief. Now, when the kingdom was established before Antiochus, he thought to reign over Egypt, that he might have dominion over two realms.
Right, go to verse 41.
Yeah. And it says, moreover, King Antiochus wrote to the whole kingdom that all should be one people.
That all should be one people. So you're talking about other nations of people coming forward and all speaking the Greek language, being Hellenized, following the Greek way of life. Now everyone here takes pride in being English, speaking the Queen's language, being British, Britanized, or Americanized. We're all Americans. Literally, this is the new Greek Empire, a Greco-Roman Empire. And yet all of our people that are not separating themselves from the heathens into this thing, this is you. We're reading about you. You're that same group of wicked men that sought to join an affinity with the heathens. Go on.
There's a saying in the world, isn't it? When in Rome, do as the Romans do.
Do what the Romans do.
That's what these people are doing. They're acting like, they're behaving the same way as the heathens. Those are their role models.
You know what I mean? Because our people was all into Greek way of life. If you look at Greek pottery, you had our people engaging in the Olympics, javelin, athletics, and they're naked too. They weren't even wearing clothes. If you look at ancient Greek pottery, you know what I'm saying? Even into orgies, which today that would be like the porn industry, man. Intermarrying other nations, having children by them.
It says, and moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people, and that everyone should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed, according to the commandment of the king.
That all should leave their laws. Go ahead.
Yea, many also of the Israelites.
Many of the Israelites. Go ahead.
Consented to his religion.
See that? And that's an actual religion, man. Go ahead, you know.
And sacrificed unto idols and profaned the Sabbath.
Oh, hold on, I'm trying to do something.
Yeah, I think it's like.
Okay, this is Ezra 9 verse 14. Should we again break thy commandments and join in affinity with the people of these abominations? Wouldst not thou be angry with us till thou hadst consumed us, so that there should be no remnant nor escaping? O Yahweh, God of Israel, thou art righteous, for we remain yet escaped as it is this day. Behold, we are before thee in our trespasses, for we cannot stand before thee because of this. You know? So we're not going to join with these other nations in their abominations. Their actual ways are abominations to the Most High. Get me? Yeah, we have our own ways, we have our own heritage. And these very same things, that's what's led us into captivity and destroyed and dispersed among all nations. Do you understand? And that's why the curse is poured upon us as a people. And it's we the prophets that are bringing out these things in the latter days for us to acknowledge what we're doing wrong and to renew our minds and come back into our heritage. Well,
It's Proverbs 11 verse 21. Though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not be unpunished, but the seed of the righteous shall be delivered.
the seed of the righteous, the Most High right now, in this beast right now, this setup, this system, the society, the Most High is recollecting the remnant of the tabernacle of David right now. And that's the righteous. And those are the very same men that's going to be delivered, because that's New Jerusalem. What does it say in the scriptures? Not all Israel is Israel. Because you have our people that yours are biological lineal descendants of Israel, but according to the Spirit, you're the bunch of heathens.
For the king had sent letters by messengers into Jerusalem and the cities of Judah, that they should follow the strange laws of the land, and forbid burnt offerings and sacrifice and drink offerings in the temple, and that they should profane the Sabbaths and festival days, and pollute the sanctuary and the holy people, and set up altars and groves and chapels of idols, and sacrifice swine's flesh and unclean beasts, and that they should leave their children uncircumcised, and make their souls abominable with all manner of uncleanness and profanation.
See that we gotta come out from among these ways.
It says, verse 49, to the end that they might forget the law and change the ordinances.
To the end that they might forget the law. See, our people, they've forgotten their own heritage. You know? Read that part again.
This is 1 Maccabees 1 and verse 48. That they should leave their children uncircumcised and make their souls abominable with all manner of uncleanness and profanation.
See that all manner of uncleanness and profanation. I'm saying profanation. Profanity, basically. See, that's part of the mark of an Israelite, is to be circumcised. You understand? Let's get that. I want to get that. Go into that Genesis, how the custom of
Circumcision.
Yeah.
Get back on the Saturday, so we'll actually do it around that time.
Yeah, this is Genesis 17.
Want me to read it?
Start from verse 1.
This is Genesis chapter 17 and verse 1. And when Abraham was 90 years old, at 9, Yahweh appeared to Abraham and said, I am the Almighty Power. Walk before me and be thou perfect.
So we're talking about the history of so-called black people. Started with a man called Abraham. Before was named Abram, which means our father exalted. Then his name became known as Abraham, which means father of nations. So our Genesis lies in the genes of a man called Abraham. But even you so-called white people, you descend from a man called Abraham. Arabs descend from a man called Abraham. Chinese and Japanese, you descend from a man called Abraham. Go ahead.
And I will make a covenant between me and thee, and multiply thee exceedingly.
See, the Most High, Yahweh, said, I'm going to make a covenant between myself and yourself. Go ahead.
Abraham fell on his face, and the Most High talked with him, saying, As for me, behold, my covenant is with thee, and thou shalt be a father of many nations.
So that Abraham would be a father of many nations. You see, we've got a lot of nations on this planet Earth right now that descend from a man called Abraham. Where
And it says, Neither shall thy name be any more called Abraham, but thy name shall be Abraham.
you see that? His name shall be called Abraham. Where
For a father of many nations have I made thee, and I will make thee exceedingly fruitful, and I will make nations of thee, and kings shall come out of thee.
Kings, I will make nations of thee, and kings shall come out of thee. Now that's talking about Jacob. Because let me get this Genesis. 35, verse 10. And the Most High said unto him, thy name is Jacob, thy name shall not be called any more Jacob, but Israel shall be thy name. And he called his name Israel. And the Most High said unto him, I am the Most High Almighty, be fruitful and multiply. Just like when he said to Abraham, a nation and a company of nations shall be of thee, and kings shall come out of thy loins. So kings shall come out of the loins of our ancestor Jacob. And the kings that shall come out of his loins, talking about the king shall come out of Judah, the throne of David. And the nations that shall come out of Jacob will be the 12 tribes. I mean, we became so large and so fruitful that we was like unto nations.
It says, and I will establish my covenant between me and thee.
No, wait. Yeah, go on. Continue.
I will establish my covenant between me and thee, and thy seed after thee in their generation, for an everlasting covenant to be a power unto thee, and to thy seed after thee. And I will give unto thee, and to thy seed after thee, the land wherein thou art a stranger.
Because we was a stranger in the land of Chaldean. Because Abraham was originally from Chaldees. He told you that in Genesis. Genesis 12, verse 31. And Terah took Abraham, his son, and Lot, the son of Haran, his son's son, and Sarai, his daughter-in-law, his son Abraham's wife. Alright? And they went forth with them from Ur of the Chaldees to go into the land of Canaan. And they came unto Haran and dwelt there. See that? We don't.
And I will give unto thee, and to thy seed after thee, the land where thou art a stranger, all the land of Canaan, for an everlasting possession, and I will be their power.
So they say that the Most High will give us that land, the land of Canaan. So we actually have a land that was promised to us as a people. We're not supposed to be building our lives here. This place is cursed. It tells you that the blood that is shed therein cannot be cleansed, but by the blood of him that shed it, man. So this place is doomed to be made desolate by nuclear fire. It tells you that in Isaiah 13. Now I will lay the land desolate, and I will destroy the sinners thereof out of it. This place is condemned, and it's polluted, and it will destroy you. Okay? It tells you that in Michael.
Micah 2 and verse 10. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. Because it is polluted, it shall destroy you, even with a sore destruction.
And this isn't your rest. We already told you that the Most High promised the descendants of Abraham a place of rest, a land of rest that we shall call our own. But our people, we've been so deceived by this place that we think that this is the place that we're going to dwell in. Intergenerationally. But we're here to tell you that this place is doomed to nuclear fire. Your inward thought is that this place will continue forever. But the Most High's intent is that the fashions of this world will pass away. Our ancestors was promised a land. And that land is over there in the Middle East.
That's right.
So again, coming back onto this truth teaches you that we're actually a people of the Middle East. Okay? We're not supposed to be taking pride in Jamaica. in being Jamaicans and Vibes Cartel and Movado and all these other bashment artists, man. Rap artists. You know, cars and, you know what I'm saying, Bentleys and Range Rovers and all this, man. We're gonna be thinking about how we gonna get back to our land. How we gonna be delivered from these other nations, man.
Back to Genesis.
Yeah, go on.
And it says, Genesis chapter 17 and verse 9. And the Most High said unto Abraham, Thou shalt keep my covenant, therefore thou and thy seed after thee in their generations.
So we're going to keep this covenant intergenerationally, meaning this covenant was supposed to be taught and handed down. Okay? And this is very important because this is our culture, this is our heritage, this is what makes us us. That if we lose sight of who we are, that will give other nations the advantage over us. You know what I'm saying? And also that the Most High would be with us.
And it says in verse 10, This is my covenant which you shall keep between me and you and thy seed after thee. Every man child among you shall be circumcised.
Every man child among you shall be circumcised. Every man child among you shall be circumcised. Go ahead.
And ye shall circumcise the flesh of your foreskin.
And you shall circumcise the flesh of your foreskin. Where we at?
Genesis 17 and 11.
17 and 11. So it said this is supposed to be the covenant. That's a signal of the covenant, man. We don't. Psalm verse 11.
Genesis 17:11. And ye shall circumcise the flesh of your foreskin, and it shall be a token of the covenant betwixt me and you.
See that? Go ahead.
And he that is 8 days old shall be circumcised among you, every man child in your generations. He that is born in the house or bought with money of any stranger which is not of thy seed.
Okay.
He that is born in thy house and he that is bought with thy money must needs be circumcised, and my covenant shall be in your flesh for an everlasting covenant.
Right, so all Israelites are supposed to be circumcised. And that's a token of the covenant. You know? Go on, read on.
And it says in verse 14, and the uncircumcised man-child, whose flesh of his foreskin is not circumcised, that soul shall be cut off from his people. He hath broken my covenant.
Right, so if any man don't circumcise his son, okay, or any man that's found uncircumcised, read it again, verse 14. And the uncircumcised man, child, whose flesh of his foreskin is not circumcised, that soul shall be cut off from his people. You have broken my covenant. So that was very serious. That was very serious in ancient Israel. You were supposed to be circumcised on the 8th day. Now that very same custom is kept in Nigeria among the Yorubas, man. That you're supposed to be circumcised on the 8th day. I believe it's even done in Ghana. You see? But then you ask like a Nigerian or a Ghanaian where they got that custom from. And they can't really say, they say it's been passed down traditionally. You see what? So that's another sign that you are the Israelites. Do you see what I'm saying? Where?
Matthew 1 Maccabees 41 and down, that's the circumcision.
In fact, give me on Genesis 13. 12 verse 1.
Right, this is Genesis chapter 12 and verse 1. Now Yahweh said unto Abram, get thee out of thy country, and from thy kindred, and from thy father's house, unto a land I will shew thee.
So what did the Most High say to Abram? He said, get away from your father, get away from your family, and I'm going to take you to a land which you've never known before. Because Abraham didn't know nothing about the land of Canaan. He probably heard about it, but he's never actually didn't know nothing about that land. He was a stranger in that land. You read that?
Genesis 12 and 1. Now Yahweh said unto Abraham, get thee out of thy country, and from thy kindred, and from thy father's house, unto a land that I will shew thee. And I will make of thee a great nation, and I will bless thee, and make thy name great, and thou shalt be a blessing.
See that I will bless thee and make thy name great. Right.
And I will bless them that bless thee,
And I will bless them that bless you. Right.
and curse them that curseth thee, and in thee all the families of the earth shall be blessed.
Yeah, because Israel was dispersed among all nations. That's how these other nations will be blessed, because the seed of Jacob is found among them. Give me Hosea 8 verse 8.
This is Hosea chapter 8 and verse 8. Israel is swallowed up. Now shall they be among the Gentiles as a vessel wherein there is no pleasure.
Read that again.
Israel is swallowed up. Now shall they be among the Gentiles as a vessel wherein there is no pleasure.
It says that Israel is among the Gentiles. We're among the heathens. See what I'm saying? And that's why I said in Genesis 12, it said that all nations shall be blessed in you. Why would all nations be blessed? Because Israel would be among them. We'd be scattered among these different nations. You understand? Just like how Joseph made Egypt great. We the Israelites dwelt in the land of Egypt, and we made Egypt great. You understand? We were taken as slaves from West Africa to America, and we made America great. But Esau, the same people that took us captives, took no account of our labors there. But wherever Israel is scattered to, we make things happen in those lands, man. Do you understand? Give me Baruch 3 verse 8. Baruch chapter 3 verse 8.
Right, this is Baruch chapter 3 and verse 8. Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us for a reproach and a curse.
As a curse. Why are these curses coming upon us? Keep on reading.
Right, let's stop again. Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us for a reproach and a curse, and to be subject to payments.
To be subject to payments where?
According to all the iniquities of our fathers.
Because of all the iniquities of our fathers. Because remember, you were commanded to keep a covenant. Do you remember that? And that covenant, we're going to circumcise every man child on the 8th day.
Do you know what it is? I really don't want to know nobody, but I've come to the terms
Our people are so cool. We've embraced another culture. We've invented another culture. Hoodritism. Or ghettoism.
They call it
The religion. Ghettoism. You know what I'm saying? Gangsterism. Yeah, thugism, man. See, we're gonna come back into this, man. This is our culture. Holiness. And that's how you take them bad spirits off of us as a people. We come back into holiness, man. The reason why all these evil vibrations, all these curses have come upon us because we've departed from our heritage. we've walked contrary to our God. So our God has now been contrary to us. You see that? We don't.
Luke 3 verse 8, behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us for a reproach and a curse, and to be subject unto payments, according to all the iniquities of our fathers, which departed from Yahweh our power.
It's the point from Yahweh our power, man.
Hear Israel, the commandments of life, and give ear to understand wisdom.
See, so give ear to the commandments of life. The commandments of life is contained in the scripture. When you want to give ear to the valley of the shadow of death, and you look at us like we're crazy. You want to take ear to the valley of death, right? You know what I mean? You want to build your life in the valley of the shadow of death. But where the crazy ones? We're crazy. Because we tell you that, listen, we're going to depart out of the mannerisms of these heathens and reconcile ourselves back unto our God again. Because that's the hole from where we were digged, man. You know what I'm saying? That's our system. That's the well. We're going to drink waters out of our system, man. But that's how Jake is so messed up that here it is, we're telling you who you are and what you're supposed to be doing as Israelites, as descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and you're looking at us like we're crazy. Our people have been so estranged from who they are. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
This is Baruch 4:1. This is the book of the commandments of the Most High, and the law that endureth forever. And all they that keep it shall come to life, but such as leave it shall die.
Such as leave it shall die. So the future for the majority of you so-called black people is death. Because that's your wages. That's your wages. And this is Romans 6 verse 23. For the wages of sin is death, but the gift of the Most High is eternal life through Yahweh HaMashiach our Lord. You know,
Back in Baruch 3. Yeah, Baruch 3.
Hold on. I'll bring up some scriptures. I want to bring up some scriptures. This is Job. Job chapter 10 verse 21. Before I go whence I shall not return, even to the land of darkness and the shadow of death, a land of darkness as darkness itself, and of the shadow of death, without any order, and where the light is as darkness. And this is this place. This is the very same place that our people trust in.
Deuteronomy 28, it said you would walk in the noonday of darkness.
Baruch 3, behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us for a reproach and a curse,